Choosing the right sports betting platform can be tricky, as most mobile sports betting apps come with limited betting options and customization, delayed cash out and withdrawal times, and tedious customer support, and no true loyalty program with continuous rewards even after signing up. All of this leads to a frustrating, one-sided experience. So, how do you find the one which suits you best? Introducing Zen Sports. It combines the best of both worlds, a traditional sports book and a cutting-edge peer-to-peer marketplace. Zen Sports allows you to accept bets against the house, or use our peer-to-peer marketplace to create your own one-of-a-kind bet and set your own odds without the need for a bookmaker. At Zen Sports, you get more betting options and a cashback rewards through our unique welcome bonus, continuous loyalty program every month, and referral rewards delivered directly into your account. So what are you waiting for? Download the Zen Sports app today at zensports.com.
Welcome to Bluff City Bets, a Bluff City media podcast. Join Daniel Greer and Chase Bobbitt as they give their plays of the day and strategies for success as a sports bettor. Now, let's get to the show.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Bluff City Bets presented by Zen Sports on Bluff City Media, complete coverage of all things Memphis sports. I'm your host, Chase Bobbitt, back with you for episode 15 of the podcast today. Before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, and follow us on Twitter at Bluff City Bets. Also, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, catch up on all the great shows that we have to offer at Bluff City Media. Before we get into the episode, thank you to Zen Sports, our presenting sponsor of Bluff City Bets. It's an easy-to-use app. Download it anywhere, Android, Apple, wherever you get your apps. Earn an unlimited 5% cash back on your betting volume for the first 15 days that you sign up. Then from that point forward, 3% cash back unlimited every month. Use code BluffC when you sign up. Zen Sports betting just got better. So as always, thank you to Zen Sports for continuing to be the presenting sponsor of this podcast. Getting into episode 15 now. As I said last episode and have said throughout the whole summer, it is a very dry period in the sports betting community. So again, today we will be stretching ourselves pretty thin in terms of finding things to discuss. Obviously, even more. We had MLB All-Star break. We spoke on that briefly. MLS has been kind of the main bread and butter of my end of the podcast, especially on the official play side of things. We are going to do another soccer. It won't be MLS, as we have a new competition that we'll be discussing. It does involve MLS teams. This episode will discuss actually some WNBA, talk about some bad beats, big cash as always, and then get you guys out of here for Daniel's episode on Friday. He'll be able to touch on all the baseball things for the weekend. So as always, around the league to start off with, I hope everyone listened 2 episodes ago, and then we touched on it again last episode. Carlos Alcaraz did end up winning Wimbledon. When we spoke on it, we gave the play at the start of round 2. He was plus 320 on the future to win Wimbledon. At the time, he ended up beating Djokovic in a 5-set thriller. Again, Djokovic was the favorite for the whole tournament. He was the favorite in that going into that match. I think he was minus 210 in the match against Alcaraz, but I saw him in that second round. We gave Alcaraz as the play. I think Djokovic was like minus 165 to win the whole thing. So there was no value in taking him there. Obviously, I think he won it 4 times in a row up to this point. So that was the reason for the number. But I did see good value in Alcaraz plus 320. That did hit. So I hope you guys listened there and got a good line there with Alcaraz. Great tennis match there. As I've continued to say, I've gotten more and more into tennis. I actually didn't even bet that matchup. I had the future, but the matchup itself I didn't bet. So I was able to kind of sit back and enjoy that on Sunday. So that was a good one. Looking around the league, otherwise, we do have the Leagues Cup, which I'll talk about for our official play. But the big news around the Leagues Cup and the big news around soccer in America is the fact that Lionel Messi has joined Inter Miami, which we touched on in a previous episode, but it has been made official. There's been pictures of him at Publix shopping with his family. He's in and around Miami, and I think yesterday was his unveiling for the Miami fans, or 2 days ago. He is expected to play in this Leagues Cup matchup, which I don't know much about the Leagues Cup. I know that is between the MLS and Liga MX, which is the top division in Mexico. A Champions League style competition, if you will. This looks to be Messi's debut. It looks like I don't know how much he's going to play, if he's going to start. I really don't know much information other than the fact that we should see Messi in some capacity in this game. Otherwise, I wouldn't be looking at this game at all, since both these two teams are the bottom of their respective leagues. Cruz Azul is the bottom of League MX currently. I think they're 3 games into the season. And then Inter Miami is dead last in the MLS, regardless of conference. I think they're sitting on 18 points currently, which is the worst in the MLS. So Miami is currently minus 110 on the money line. Obviously, if you see closer to kickoff that Messi is starting in this game, that's going to give them the edge. I think that's expected with them at minus 110. Messi to score is plus 100. So you're getting even money on Lionel Messi to score against the worst team in Mexico. Again, I mean, you're taking a risk that he only plays 10 to 15 minutes, comes on late. I still think that you have a good chance of him cashing that, but especially if you're going to see him start and play majority of the game, I think at plus 100, it's worth taking a swing at just for the occasion. Again, I think at minus 110 also. It's not a bad line for Inter Miami. They do have some decent players. They're going to be at home. Obviously, the energy is going to be unlike anything that we've probably ever seen in any kind of MLS game or MLS team playing. It's not the MLS, but so I think both those are decent plays. Again, Messi plus 100. I'll probably just take it just for the fun to watch it and see kind of how he looks against players that are much lower caliber than anything we've ever seen him play before, and just kind of to celebrate the milestone and the event for American soccer and how big it is that someone like Messi is now playing in the United States and playing in Miami. So I think that's one to look at for the Leagues Cup. There's a couple other matchups that I had my eye on. One of them will actually be my official play. Back to the well, as always, with the both teams to score play for our official play. We'll get to that when that time comes. Around the league, in other news, I have a WNBA play, which I don't think I've ever given a WNBA play on this podcast before. It is going to be the Connecticut Sun minus 7.5 points against the Phoenix Mercury. It is in Phoenix. I almost made this my official play, but I backed out last minute. The Suns are 16-6 against the spread in their last 22 road games, so home away really does not matter in this matchup. 5-2 against the spread overall. For the Sun, the Mercury are 3-9 against the spread in their last 12 games, 2-5 against the spread in their last home game. So home away really doesn't matter with these two teams. The Mercury are one of the worst teams in the WNBA. The Suns are the second best team in the WNBA behind just the Las Vegas Aces, who are head and shoulders above everyone else in the WNBA, but the Suns are the second best team by a wide margin, or them and I think it's New York Liberty are kind of back and forth after that. But I like them at minus 7.5. I think, again, like I said, home and away really doesn't matter. Coming off the All-Star break, both teams should be fresh. Connecticut is the much better team. Minus 7.5 is going to be the play I like there. I was also looking at the over. It's over 162.5. I like that as well. I think Mercury can get you 65, 70 points. Suns are averaging over 80 points a game. So expect the over in that to cash as well, which is over 162.5, like I said, and then Suns minus 7.5. So those are just some around the league plays. Actually, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there is a golf tournament this weekend. If I'm not mistaken, there's also the Women's World Cup going on, which we'll talk about actually before we get to any golf that could be going on. I'm just looking at some futures, team futures. USA is currently plus 250 to win the Women's World Cup. I would take a flyer on that. Obviously, they are historically the best team in women's soccer, so I think at plus 250, you can get them at a good line right now. They're not what they used to be or as dominant as they used to be, but I still think at plus 250. Take USA, take England at plus 350. I think one of those two teams will ultimately end up being the champion there. So I think you're getting good value with that. So, yes, we have the Open Championship this weekend. Just looking at Rory McIlroy plus 800. Obviously, he just won the Scottish Open this past weekend. I think a lot of people will be playing Rory at plus 800. Rory historically has choked, which we've touched on before. I like him to finish top 10 at minus 105. Scotty Scheffler to finish top 10 is minus 140. I do like John Rahm at a plus 1,300 to win the Open. I think, one of the best golfers in the world. I think it's worth taking a flyer there. Besides that, Brooks Koepka plus 200, I think, is a good play for top 10. He struggled in that last tournament, the U.S. Open, but before that, obviously, winning the Masters and all that good stuff. So, again, I think Daniel will have a lot more golf later in the week, so make sure to subscribe or join the Discord there, as there'll be a lot of golf plays from Daniel's end later in the week. But just wanted to kind of talk about that, just kind of if make people aware that that golf tournament does start on Thursday. So make sure to join the Discord in the meantime, as by the time Daniel's episode's out, that tournament would have already teed off. So now looking at our Bad Beats Big Cash segment. Not much going on. Again, there just isn't much going on in the sports betting community in general. So I've kind of laid off plays in general, especially the units. I do have one. I say that, but I did have one of my biggest wins and biggest bets in a good while in a summer league play, which I was very sharp on, also on the Discord. So another reason to join the Discord there. But before we get to that, last night we did hit a LA Angels money line live, which was nice. I think it was at minus 110 at the time. Early in the game, it was 0-0 at the time. Yankees ended up going up 3-1, so I thought it was done. And then Shohei Ohtani does what he does best, hits a 2-run home run to go to 3-3, send it to extra innings, and I think I want to say the top of the ninth inning, the Yankees hit a leadoff double to start it off. Angels, who had a guy who was like, I don't know much about baseball, just kind of following along on my phone. They put in a pitcher who had like a 13.5 ERA. From what I understand, I know that's bad. I was sweating it out. Angels ended up winning in extra innings, 4-3. So that was a good play that we hit. Also, the big one, as I mentioned earlier, was, and this was Summer League, and I dabbled with Summer League. It was more just kind of the Grizzlies, just because I knew that obviously all the guys who were playing for the Grizzlies were NBA caliber players. They've had NBA minutes under their belt. They played against the LA Lakers Saturday, I believe it was. And they were plus 2.5. So, and the Summer League lineups don't come out until right before the game. So take that, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt when you're looking at these lines. But I noticed Grizzlies are plus 2.5 on the line right before tip-off. I saw the lineups. Everyone was playing LaRavia, Roddy, Lofton Jr., Williams, and Gilliard was the starting five, obviously, they have been the starting five for the Summer League up to that point. And then you had the Lakers who Max Christie, who's their main guy, probably the only guy on that on the Lakers Summer League roster who will play for the Lakers this season. He was ruled out. Another player who was starting for them for the Summer League up to that point was ruled out, and they were still plus 2.5. The Grizzlies were. So I hammered the Grizzlies at minus 115, plus 2.5. I didn't have the courage to go, or I should have really gone on the money line at like plus 115, but didn't do that. Grizzlies, I think, ended up winning by 35, 40 points. Absolutely blew them out. We're up by 20 after one quarter. So that was just a good one that I hit. Put that in the Discord, as I mentioned. That was a fun one to be on the right side of and kind of get Vegas, if you will. Kind of took advantage of a faulty line on Vegas's part with Summer League. That's kind of one of the only times that you could ever catch Vegas slipping with that. And then another good play that we hit, it was a minus 101 play it ended up being, but it was a 3-leg double chance MLS parlay that I could have taken all these guys outright and would have won, but I took the double chance. It was St. Louis SC or draw against Inter Miami before Messi obviously has played, SC Cincinnati or draw against Nashville, and New England Revolution or draw against DC United. All three of these teams did win outright, but we took those three together on the double chance. So it was them to win or draw, minus 101 ended up being the final odd. So we cashed that for a good amount of units. So those were two nice plays. And then in the semifinal of Wimbledon, we did have Carlos Alcaraz and Djokovic both to win their respective matches at minus 137 on the money line. Another one that I was very confident in, another one that we put in the Discord. So those are just some of the wins for the week. Again, it's been very light. We're starting to kind of turn the corner, get into English Premier League, should be out soon. I'm actually doing a piece writing for the first time ever, that I'll be writing for Bluff City Media, putting something out with my top 20 predictions for every team essentially in the English Premier League, where I predict them to finish. And then I'll also be doing another article where I touch on some just betting plays in the English Premier League, some futures, some different things to look out for that could provide you some value on the betting side of things for the English Premier League. So be on the lookout for both those articles. If you are into soccer, those should be out shortly. But before we get into our bad beats, big cash, as always, thank you to Zen Sports, our official sponsor for Bluff City Bets. Zen Sports is the new sports book in Tennessee, revolutionizing the way you earn sports betting rewards. That means no more deposit bonuses that turn into deposit nightmares. On Zen Sports, what you see is what you get. And with their cashback rewards program, you get a lot of cash for a welcome bonus. Earn an unlimited 5% cash back on your betting volume for the first 15 days, which you sign up with the code BluffC at checkout. That's right, 15% unlimited cash back. Keep betting, earning an unlimited 3% cash back on your betting volume every month after that, and refer your friends to earn a percentage of their betting volume as well as cash rewards. Zen Sports is bringing the cash back to Tennessee. So you want to bet big on sports, you want to be betting on Zen Sports. Zen Sports betting just got better. So thank you, as always, to Zen Sports for being our official sponsor of Bluff City Bets. Looking now into our official play. So as I mentioned, we are now 7-2 on our official play. So we are red hot with the official plays. Both teams to score. Sporting KC against Real Salt Lake was our official play last week. It cast in the first minute of the second half. Real Salt Lake scored to make it 2-1, and cashing our both teams to score there, making it 7-2 on the year for the podcast. As I mentioned, we are going back to both teams to score, back to two MLS teams, a different competition. It is going to be Orlando City against the Houston Dynamo, -140, both teams to score. This has hit in the last two meetings that these two teams have squared off. I've mentioned it before. Orlando City, my hometown team, both teams to score is a very profitable bet anytime that Orlando City plays. And I like it to continue in this game today, or this game this weekend. Houston has been shut out in their last two games, so they're going to be very eager to score in this game. It has to leave a sour taste in your mouth to have both teams, not score in two consecutive games, and Orlando City has scored in 8 of their last 10 games. So, again, I like Orlando City. I like their chances to score, and then I think Orlando City's defense isn't the best. We saw them go 2-1 against Atlanta United at the weekend. I think Houston can definitely get a goal against Orlando City, cashing that. -140, both teams to score there will be our official play. So, yeah, I appreciate everyone for listening. As always, make sure to check out Daniel's episode on Friday. He'll be getting you guys through the weekend. Again, a lot of golf plays there, a lot of baseball plays there, I'm sure. I appreciate everyone for the support, and I will see you guys next Tuesday. Happy betting in the meantime.
Thank you for listening to Bluff City Bets. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.